Okay, so for today's video, we're in the estate of Unrest, which is probably one of my favorite dungeons because I've always liked the creepy kind of gothic dark type dungeons. After Mistmore, I would probably put Unrest at a fairly close second as far as my all-time favorite dungeons. Now this group, and by the way, I'm on P2002 in case you don't know, but this group is actually different from what usually happens on P2002. This is just me and a friend of mine who's a Shadow Knight. I'm playing my Cleric, Ambu Lance, and we're just kind of going about it in a very classic EverQuest way. We're not boxing. Actually, let me rephrase that. I am boxing technically. My The panel to the right is actually Hellcast, my Beast Lord, and he's only around to provide spiritual light. So we'll invite him every time spiritual light fades to get better mana regen, and that's entirely his purpose. He's not there to help, really. He's just there to cast mana regen because I was kind of finding that my mana regen was killing me. If there's one pet peeve I have about EverQuest, a really big pet peeve is trying to regen mana when you don't have a mana regen buff on you. It's just so slow. But anyway, I brought him here to help out. But this is not a box group. What you see on P2002 a lot is lots of triple box groups, and it's just one person playing three tunes. Three boxes is the limit on here, so that's what you see a lot of on this server. But anyway, so it's just kind of different for us just to just kind of play in like a, I don't know, a classic EverQuest way of two players grouping up and taking it to them. And actually, Unrest is, there's plenty enough mobs to pull or to supply a full group and get good EXP. But with just two people, when you have lull, you can pretty much own these upper floors all to yourself. I mean, you may not be able to keep up on the spawns because you just don't have enough damage to kick out to keep up on the spawn rate. But we did pretty good. I mean, it's just relaxed and calm, and because the server is pretty quiet population wise, I mean, there's just not much. Population is very low, and it would be great if more people would join up. But anyway, it's not as trainy as it is probably on P99. It does train here, don't get me wrong, but it's not as much of a worry. We've started a few trains, but it's not been like other people causing trains and hurting us very much. So, as usual, I mean, there's something new to report. So if, like, say you're a P99 player and you're just kind of binging and you came across this video, there's some stuff that besides the boxing, the Shadows of Luckland, that I had forgotten about because I pretty much quit playing live around the time World of Warcraft came out. So I went to P99 for the nostalgia, but I'm here more for kind of the gameplay and stuff that was added to EverQuest later in the Shadows of Luckland that I felt were really good additions and were definitely, I didn't have any philosophical problem as far as what some of the stuff was added, which I've gone over before. But like, say we're in Unrest right now, and I've got Greater Healing, which is a good spell, but I got Celestial Remedy as well, and this is a new spell. And Celestial Remedy was put in as a heal over time spell, and this was a new concept for the developers. And they actually put in Celestial Remedy and a whole line of Celestial spells that as you go up in levels, you get new spells in this line. It's basically just designed to keep your aggro down instead of getting big heal aggro while you're playing. But and what's funny is I was just kind of mousing over Devex Vimar here. This is actually my cousin. He got me into EverQuest way back in. Actually, he got me into beta. We played Ultima Online, and then he showed me on his PC he had there was a beta application for a game called EverQuest, and all it was like a couple of static pictures of EverQuest. That's it. No, like there wasn't really much of a description. You didn't know what you were getting into, but graphically it looked amazing because it was a 3D accelerated game, which was very cutting edge for its time. I wasn't personally particularly interested in it, but he told me I should go ahead and apply, and I did, and it was kind of like almost like filling out a job application because they asked you questions about like basically who you were as a gamer and stuff. And this was in, I think it was the end of '97 or very early in 1998 when I filled out this application. And then in the summer of '98, I got a letter from Sony. It was actually really cool. It wasn't SOE, it wasn't Sony on it. It was just Sony, 989 Studios. I got a letter in the snail mail, and it was an NDA contract I had to sign and mail back via snail mail, not email, regular mail. I had to sign it, agree not to talk about this game under any circumstances, and I mailed it back. And it was really cool to get a letter from Sony anyway, but the entire novelty of participating in a beta test was really new. I mean, this was not. Betas had probably been going on for a while, but it was a pretty big deal to me. And in September of 1998, I got a letter or a package, not a package, like a package envelope, a hybrid envelope package, whatever you want to call it. And it had an installation CD for I think it was phase 2 of beta, closed beta for Everquest. And I remember immediately opening it up and doing the installation on my PC, and I had dial-up, and then it took like 4 hours to download this huge patch. And it was actually, I don't know if I even got to play it until like maybe a day later because it took such a long time to patch up. And those were the days where I'm pretty sure the patch didn't, if you cut off a download in the middle of a patch, like it wouldn't remember what you had downloaded, so you had to start all over again. But yeah, those are the very earliest of early days of EverQuest and MMOs and 3D accelerated graphics. And this dungeon Unrest is it's a very classic because it's a really hard dungeon, really. If you know where to pull and what to pull and you understand it, then it's not so bad. But even like we came here probably at level 20-ish, I can't remember for sure, but and got overwhelmed a few times because of the spawns and mobs popping on top of you, and eventually you pull too many and you have to retreat or die. And this dungeon, it's basically it's really cool because it's like an estate. It's an undead estate, and but like every door has monsters behind it, skeletons and ghouls and stuff. Plus these ghouls root, which is a bit hazardous. But behind one of these doors, it's really cool. I might show it later in the video. I can't remember. But behind one of these doors, there's a little dwarf, or no, not a dwarf, a gnome. There's a gnome just sitting behind the door, and he's just like, "Go away, I'm hiding." And I don't know what it's about. I haven't done the research on it, but it's just funny that they put a little detail like a non-attacking gnome who's just, he looks like a mage or a wizard. He's wearing robes, but and then there's also there's two different undead dwarves. There's one undead dwarf on the first floor who's nothing special, and then there's another dwarf who's like a general of some type, and I don't know what the whole story is. There is actually probably a really great story behind the estate of Unrest and what all happened to it. And I probably read it at some point, and if I was a better YouTuber, I probably would give you a better background on the estate of Unrest. But really, it's just it's about the experience right here. What else can I talk about? I actually recorded this video in real time, which I usually never do. And I recorded commentary over it, and the sound of the rain was so loud in this game. This game has the funniest ambient noise issues, like opening boxes and backpacks and rain, thunder. It's just ultra loud for some reason. It drowns out all other noises. So I had to. So now I'm having to do post commentary, which I kind of wish I didn't have to. I liked what I put down for the original video, but anyway, I'm getting off topic. Let's see. Ding is like, if you look over at Hellcast on your left, Ding is, he's a member of Ding, and Ding is like the biggest guild on P2002, and they're always giving away stuff. They're giving away stuff in Plane of Knowledge, buffs, inviting people into guilds. Somebody in Ding is trying really hard to create a community on P2002, which is honorable. And this server it's wide open. I mean, for people that want to build a group of friends and a community, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get to a point where you know just about everybody, apart from like the boxers that are kind of off to themselves. But yeah, I mean, the server is ripe. I mean, it's wide open for an organized group of people to come in and do content and kind of take advantage of this small community. That's part of the greatness of MMOs. I mean, now this one is different because you're not group dependent. You can box, obviously, which is definitely, I would say, detrimental to an extent to the community. But actually, and I kind of debated about including it or not, but later we get a magician who joined our group and a paladin, and it was kind of like a classic Everquest group for a little while. But then, yeah, here's the gnome. It's a gnome. Man, he's not a wizard. Almost looks like a shadow knight. Crix Fritchoff. He's like, I'm hiding here. That's all he has to say. He's red. I wonder what level he is. But like, yeah, this dungeon, I mean, you can pretty much wreck it with just two people, maybe even one. Well, it'd probably take two, but when you have lull, you can just come back here and a lot of these pools go from being train and die to just very easy. I mean, and I don't know what the deal was on lull back on live, because on live it seems like, if I remember right, if lull was resisted, it would pull aggro and completely negate the entire point of casting lull. And I believe that's why people just didn't use it. I mean, generally, the attitude among poolers was burst into a room full of mobs, pull a whole bunch of mobs back to the group, and let the caster sort it out. Or the enchanter, preferably. But at some point, and I don't know when it was, lull was improved and made to be a viable spell. And once people figured out how to use lull as a workable spell, a lot of pools just became a cinch. I mean, it crowd control. It basically negated crowd control because, let's see, besides enchanters, clerics and paladins have lull spells, and other classes get some other. There's like lull animal type spells, but lull undead, I want to say, and because of that, as people utilize lull, the big pools kind of went away, and the enchanter's special place as a crowd control specialist, is a very needed crowd control specialist, kind of ebbed away later on. One funny part is, if you notice that barbed bone skeleton, if you don't enable human models, at least on my rig, my setup, if you don't enable human models, then the skeletons are lacking quite a few of their animations. And if you kill him, like you notice, he's just kind of got his arms out and stuff. Yeah, you basically you have to enable the human models if you want the skeletons to look right. And it's apart from being immersion breaking. If you play a necro and you go into skeletal form, I just found this out because I successfully researched Call of Bones. The the animation, you won't stand up or sit down. You'll just have to rely on the key presses, the sit and the stand button, to know what your status is. Because otherwise, because of for whatever reason, they're using these human models for the skeletons, and if you don't have them enabled, then you're not going to get the full skeletal animations. But anyway, I just wanted to do kind of a different video, not about necessarily boxing and just more of just kind of a classic two different people and hundreds of miles apart grouping up in an online multiplayer game that was made many years ago. Still holds a great deal of mystique and interest to me. And my Beast Lord's there, and I'm planning on making more videos about my Beast Lord. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. But that's all I got for today, and thanks for watching. Just want to do an update. I usually don't commentate. That's all I got.